I'm sticking with it. We'll see who's right.
Hey there, volleyball fans. It is the gold medal match for our women's, the last match of our Elite 16 event, and how fitting for it to be a Brazil-USA, the rivalry that was born here, born on the beach, here on the sands of Copacabana Beach. Kyle Friend and Travis Merwarder here sitting courtside for this matchup, our final one of the tournament. Megan Kraft and Therese Cannon of the United States taking on Barbara Seixas and Carol Salgado, the Brazilian legends. And this Brazilian crowd is hungry for a gold medal. Travis, what are we going to see here in this one?
Well, it's the most fitting gold medal match you can have. As you mentioned and alluded to in that lead up, this is the rivalry. Men's federations, women's federations, this is it. USA versus Brazil. This is beach volleyball right here. And you have the veterans in Barbara and Carol who just continue to stave off the youngsters. They staved off Valentina Guittardi and Rekha Orsitov in the quarterfinals. Phenomenal match. They staved off Victoria Lopez and Tamala Fordelli, our bronze medalists. Youngsters, not your time yet, but is it the American youngsters' time? Therese Cannon and Megan Kraft had just been knocking on the door this entire season. Just 6 months as partners. They're coming off back-to-back Elite 16 medals, a silver in Stade, had the cowbell in their grasp. It was snatched away by Kristen Nuss and Taryn Koth. They go to Vienna, come away with a bronze medal in Vienna. Personally, American bias, being transparent, I thought this was Therese and Meg's tournament from day one, and I'm sticking to my guns. Just don't tell anyone in Brazil.
We won't tell anyone here. The fans here can't hear us. The fans at home can hear us. But if I was a 1x betting man, Meg and T taking down Carol and Barbara in pool play in this tournament. So it's a little bit of a rematch and a chance for revenge for Carol and Barbara to kind of flip the script. And as we know, it is difficult to beat a team twice, especially in the same event. So it's going to be difficult for Meg and T to hold on to that with that strong finish that they had in the pool play game and take that into this gold medal match. It's a blank slate when you come here. It's back to 0-0. What happened in the past doesn't matter. It's what happens right now. How are you going to show up here on the biggest stage, in the biggest event in our last Elite 16 of the year? And no better place to do it than Rio de Janeiro. And these fans, there is a line of about 200 people outside of these stands just waiting to get in. I don't know if they're going to get in, Travis. They're just going to stand there and kind of have to look over the VIP tents back there because there's no more room in the stadium for fans.
It is quite literally standing room only. And a suggestion to fans, if you got to pee, you best be holding it. Because if you leave these stands, you're not getting back in. And Kyle's not exaggerating. The queue is going out the stadium to the sidewalk of Copacabana. This is the event of Sunday. The VIP section, packed. General admission, packed. Commentator booth, VIP seating right here. There's only 2 people in here. Wouldn't have it any other way. We got the best seats in the house.
As we meet our team from the United States, the blocker, Miss Therese Cannon. And you better believe she's got a cannon. She's got angles upon angles. She's added the option into her game. It's become so effective. Credit to their coach, Mike Playcheck, for expanding the ability of this team. And her partner, Megan Kraft, the youngster, the USC graduate, a 4-time national champion all 4 years at USC. And she's becoming one of the world's best defenders that we have on the Beach Pro Tour.
And these girls better get used to getting booed just a bit because there is no love lost between Brazil and the USA, especially when you have Brazil on the other side. Now, it is one of the best atmospheres that you could ever ask for. If you're a beach volleyball player, you grew up dreaming of playing at night in Brazil for gold against Brazil. This is just one of those iconic matches that you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
And Therese and Megan are going to remember this one in their young partnership. A lot of matches to go as there you see Carol Solberg Salgado, who was MVP of the semifinal match She had so many blocks against Tamala and Victoria, coming late out of nowhere, pressing those hands over the net, securing some big-time blocks, including 2 big ones to end that semifinal match to punch their ticket to the gold medal match. Phenomenal play from Carol. And her partner, Barbara Seychas, the crafty lefty wizard in the backcourt. She's got an array of shots. She's going to need him against this tough defensive team in Therese and Megan Kraft.
And it's a very different defensive team because it's just, Meg is such a smart defender. She's long, she's lanky, she's smooth. She's not going to dig balls like a Kim Vandeveld, who's just going to chase everything down and just motor around the court, but she's just going to slide into the spots at the right time. She works smarter, not harder. Not saying she doesn't work hard, but she's just a very efficient defender.
Women's gold medal match underway. Brazil on the left side of the screen in green, United States in red. And Kraft looking for the shortcut shot. Starts with a good service pressure from Brazil.
What a short serve that was from Barbara Seychas, taking a page out of Andre Perisic's book, going with the angle-to-angle shorty. Very difficult.
Back to Megan Kraft they go. Excellent pass. Therese Cannon looking for the option. Excellent idea, just missing by a few centimeters.
It was a great pass. It was the right shot. As you said, excellent idea. Just sends it a little bit wide.
This time a bit more pace. And Therese goes back to the option, and that's a good sign for United States. Confidence for Therese Cannon.
Confidence, and I love it when players hit an error and they go right back to it. That just shows, as you mentioned, the confidence of Therese Cannon, knowing that the on-two, that is their game. That's what's helped get them here.
Kraft going at Barbara. This set a little bit out wide, and somehow Barbara jumping out to the right and swinging back to the left.
That is a heck of a chop into the angle from Barbara Seychas. Just when you think that that angle was fechado and closed, she opens it right back up.
Carol down the line to Kraft. Another option. Nice touch at the net from Carol to keep this one alive. And the poke shot this time from Therese, continuing to find ways to option.
On two, and on two some more. And Carol makes an excellent read on that, pulling into that cut shot angle. But Therese, when she pokes it at the height, it's a downward trajectory poke shot. The old power pokey from T.
The trickler collected well. Carol goes behind, and the soft line shot goes down for Carol Salgado.
And I think that that back set created some disruption defensively for the United States, where it results in a double angle defense. And Therese turned around. I think she expected Meg to be there, and Meg just sort of shrugged. And I think she made a read as well.
This time to Therese. Good hands from Carol. She's had a bunch of blocks. The block leader coming into today. She adds another one to the list.
Her blocking has been the best in the tournament statistically and in just a fundamental technical standpoint. She's making the biggest blocks when they've needed them, and that was a great pass from Therese. Sends that ball high and just over center to present the option, and I love that Meg went for it, and Carol just tremendous handwork to get the block.
Line-to-line serve on Kraft. Oh, the gator dig from Carol. She gets a hand on it. You're going to see a ton of good pull digs from Carol Salgado.
What's crazy about Carol is that she'll lead the tournament in blocks and at the same time be close to tied with Barbara in digs.
(3-5). USA down 2. This deep serve on Barbara. She handles it well. Down the line, right at the chest of Megan Kraft.
And Meg going in for the shallow drop shot from Barbara, and Barbara instead with a nice deep snap, catching Meg in the shoulder.
Kraft from the right.
Kraft high and deep, no touch there. Looking for some hands, not going to find them.
And this is where, for a lot of rookies, I would say that the nerves are getting to them. But Megan Kraft, she's just not a nervous person. She's played on all the biggest stages in the sport. And I think it's just, this is a different environment. Just a little bit of settling in for Meg right now.
Barbara Seixas with a scoop. Going for the over angle, but just overcooks it slightly, so a break there for the United States.
And I think that's the break they needed. Just to have the other team show that, yes, they're human too. They're going to make a mistake in a gold medal match, and now the match can begin.
Cannon has a weapon at the service line, putting a ton of pressure, good angles on her serve. Seixas going behind again. The movement from Brazil so effective.
And again, that back set disrupts the defense of the United States. It gets Therese out of position, and because she's so late to the block, Meg is sort of frozen in the seam where she can't make a play.
Good lift there from Kraft. Going to the line, Barbara on the run. Chance here for Brazil. Another chance for Kraft. That time, Kraft doesn't miss. It takes 2 times of asking, but USA earn.
And the United States, they just got to settle in on offense a little bit. What led them to such an easy win earlier today against Germany was that first ball side out. And once they rediscover that, they can start rolling. But until they do, it's going to be a lot of pressure on their defense.
Barbara looking for the slimy cut. And an error there from Barbara Seixas.
And the good news for the United States is this is the slowest they've started in a set this entire tournament, and yet they're still only down 2. And that's a good sign for a fan, for a coach, because what's going to happen when they start resuming the form that got them here?
Carroll looking to option. Carroll pushing it to the sideline. Nothing USA could do about that swing.
Carroll right now is my MVP for the tournament on the women's side. She just continues to come up big and bigger and biggest when she's needed.
Off pass. Trouble on the set. The lefty stays in. Good lift from Cannon. Can she put this one away into the high line? She does.
And I agree with Carol's argument right now. I think that Therese banked that lefty off the antenna on that first swing, and I don't think we're going to get a replay all the way back, but that's what Carol's asking for. This is it. I have that as hitting that antenna, and so that's a good missed no call for the United States and a bad break for Brazil.
Barbara to the line. Kraft just waiting there. And Kraft goes deep into the angle, and now United States starting to turn a few points of their own.
And Meg is one of the tallest defenders on the women's side in the world, and that's where that length and height really comes into play. Watch how high she hits this right over the top of Carroll. I mean, Carroll's not even close to that, and that's our blocks leader.
Barbara hesitant on that pass. And working the tape, sneaking it around that block of Therese Cannon.
Back sets continue to be an issue for the United States. And that's a nice, savvy decision for Barbara to run that back set and to continue to disrupt the defense of the U.S. and making them move. And they're still just a little bit out of sorts on those back sets.
And Megan Kraft doing her best Neo impression from the Matrix, letting that one go. But Brazil would like a challenge. Hard to see from our angle here at the end line.
And Therese and Meg staring BBs at the ball mark. And we couldn't see it. And where the line judge pointed to it, it looks about 2 feet out.
Oh, yeah.
So he was pointing to the wrong mark, but either way, ball's out.
That happens. Lots of ball marks out there, even though we're raking every other point. Megan Kraft. She can get some stank on that serve. That one down the middle. poking over. Tight set, but not a problem for Carol Salgado.
I think right now the serves have to stay on Barbara. Carol is flawless at the moment. And now, granted, to Teresa Meg's defense, they have a winning history against Barbara and Carol. They had no trouble with them in pool play, so who am I to correct their service strategy?
One of the first balls to Therese Cannon. She tries to bring it low, and the block leader securing a block.
And Carol's handwork is just so good. She blocks very similar to Joaquin Bea, who we just saw win a gold medal match. She block loads low and gets out of the view of the hitter, and then just pops up, surprise, drops that left hand in the angle and gets another block.
Our up referee for this women's gold medal match, Carlos Rivera, up on the stand, and our second referee, Roland Rachutka, down on the sand. Shout out to all of our referees putting in good hard work here for this event and our final match of this Rio Elite 16 event. And I want to say thank you to all the fans who've been coming out all weekend long, every single match, providing so much energy, making this tournament, Travis, an electric and a memorable one.
Memorable, to say the least. Rio de Janeiro is a bucket list venue. If you're a player, if you're a fan, if you're an organizer, shout out to Volleyball World for bringing us back to Copacabana Beach.
Cannon, nobody up. Barbara's there. This one's a good set. Kraft is there, though. Chance here for United States. And Megan Kraft, how about that angle there from the right?
It's a tremendous swing from Meg, but the defense again from Brazil making the United States work exceptionally hard just for a side out. First ball side outs coming at a premium.
Good serve right up the middle. The middle serve has been a theme this week in Rio.
Somewhere, Martins Plavins, men's bronze medalist, is saying, that is my serve. Middle to middle, ace, king.
He is up there in aces with the float serve on the list as well. Better adjustment here from Carol. And Carol holding Megan Kraft with that hard approach.
I love Therese going right back to that middle. This time Carol stepping in, and this time Carol again staying perfect.
Yeah, like you said, I want to see United States chip more balls the way of Barbara Seixas. Carol, too good right now. Therese Cannon there. Excellent job on that option. That ball has a ton of spin, so difficult.
And Therese, the courage to just continue to option and option and option. It's fun to see, and that's a credit to Coach Mike Playcheck for getting them exceptional at this on-two style of play.
That's where the game is going. And USA adapting. Down the line, good pull dig. Therese is going to have a turn in transition. Heavy swing, nice scoop from Barbara. Visor on the ground for Carol. It doesn't matter. Down the middle goes Barbara Seixas for the kill.
And what a save of a point that is for Brazil. United States with 3 opportunities to put the ball away, 3 opportunities to tie it. I don't know if I've ever seen Therese hit a jumbo. That might be the first one. And Barbara, she was all over it. And then when we're in a fiddle, chop it down the middle.
Brazil has been making the right plays at the right time. 14-12, they're up 2. Middle serve, getting both United States players to move. Barbara moving late into that angle. Oh my goodness, Barbara Seixas tagging sidelines.
The fade away to the left and then chopping cross body. Close enough that Therese initially celebrated it as out of bounds. And it is right on the outside of the line. Now Therese was almost perfect in the semifinal earlier today. This is the first side-out rut we've seen her in the entire tournament.
Back to Therese they go. Excellent set from Kraft. It's touched though, and Carroll with a lot of spin on that ball. She tries to go with the left, but it just shoots off the hand.
And still, it's just troublesome for the United States that a clean kill is elusive.
Yeah, credit to Barbara and Carroll. They did their homework. They remedied some of the errors that they had, in their first pool play match against the United States, and they've come out with a better game plan. And Barbara Seychas, little Olay on that serve, letting it go.
I like the idea for Teresa. I like her coming out of the middle and then going at Barbara's deep shoulder, trying to extend her approach. Just sends it a little bit too long. Now, the United States, they need to discover a quality side out form.
High pass, Kraft with the option. That's going to work. Megan Kraft being aggressive on that tight pass.
Excellent feet to ball on that on-two for Megan Kraft. I don't know if that was an option so much as that was a mandatory on-two. That's a really nice swing.
Short serve, I like the variety here from the United States. Oh, good touch from Kraft, ricocheting off the hands of Therese, but Barbara Seychas staying good, staying perfect.
Barbara's playing fantastic. Had a couple of errors, but aside from that, she hasn't really been dug. Meg has been taken out of the match on a defensive standpoint, and Therese really hasn't had the opportunity to get going at the net either.
Angle blocks. The call here for Brazil. Poking deep, Barbara there. It's gonna be tight. Chance here, Therese. Touch from Carroll, and she goes deep over the head of Megan Kraft in a big-time play at the net from Carroll Salgado.
All smile and joy for Carroll, and all roars of approval from an adoring Brazilian home crowd. The United States gonna take a timeout, down 14-18, and again, it's just the hands of Carroll are everywhere.
Even if she's not getting the block, she's just disrupting the play of the United States so much. And then soft block, she just sets herself there and pokes it back over, catching the United States in a bit of a tizzy there, as you see our score, 18-14. Again, Carroll, phenomenal blocking in our semifinal, and she has rose to the occasion again for this gold medal match, and the fans giving her the love she deserves.
And disruption is sort of the word of the match right now for Brazil. They're disrupting the United States with what they're doing on defense. They're disrupting the United States by running a lot of back sets, changing the tempo, changing the location of their sets, and that's resulted in a lot of miscommunication on both sides of the ball.
And I'm curious to see how the United States can respond here and what kind of adjustments they're going to make offensively to right the ship, get back in the flow. Here's Cannon. And Cannon looking for some hands. Think they're going to find it. Carroll quickly saying no, and then after the ref blows whistle, said, okay, you're right. You got me.
And I appreciate that from Carroll. Sell it and sell it until you get called, and then say yes. Good call, Juan Carlos.
Seychas all day. She felt Megan Kraft sliding to that line, and she hits the baby cut.
Well, how many times did we see her do this to Valentina Guittardi in the quarterfinals, where Valentina shuffles angle, and wants to swat that cut shot, and then Barbara just dangles that cut just outside the reach.
19-15 Brazil. Kraft on the line. Nice play defensively for Brazil. Can Barbara put this one away? Oh, you better believe it. Barbara and Carroll defensively crushing it right now.
And when they're playing like this, it just leaves me befuddled as to how they've been off the podium for the previous 5 tournaments. Because when they're playing at their top form, this is why they went to the Olympics as Brazil's number 2 team.
Yeah, and a long list of top-tier Brazilian teams. This is the one that made it. Kraft on the line, pulling Carroll, but it's deep and hard. So United States hold off a set point there.
I'm just watching how many high fives we had there between Therese and Meg. Hit at least a dozen. But that back set, that's what we love to see from Meg. Now she's the one doing the disrupting.
Megan Kraft probably with the green light to go for it here. A little bit of trouble on that pass. Carroll looking for some rip, looking for some hands, doesn't find it. So an error from Carroll there.
And there's some fire from Therese Cannon. Now it might be a little bit too little too late in this first set, but you want to find that form that got you here heading into the second.
Angle swing in between both United States players. And Barbara and Carroll, just a few points early that were bad, perfect throughout the rest of this first set.
And in the bronze medal match, I asked you, Kyle, how many points is the Brazilian crowd worth? You said 3 per match. You got to wonder what effect it has on opposing players, because you look at the history, at least the recent history of events in Brazil this year, the last 4 have had a Brazilian women's team on the podium. João Pessoa, we had an all-Brazilian final. There's clearly something in the water here in Brazil. There's no more supportive home crowd in all of the Beach Pro Tour than Brazil.
There's nothing like some good home cooking, Travis, and the Brazilian fans are providing just that for Brazil. Take a look at our statistic. 2 big blocks for Carroll to start things off. Similar amount of errors for both teams, but it's just the disruption, like we said, from Barbara and Carroll that are just throwing United States off their game. And so it's going to be a challenge for the United States to get back into that side-out rhythm, which we saw so effective in the semifinal match. But Brazil playing phenomenal volleyball here in front of their hometown crowd. Start of set number 2. Kraft going behind. Down the line, there's a brilliant pull dig from Carroll. And Carroll hitting the cut shot, the fade away, it drops.
And Barbara spreading her arms like the Redeemer in the mountains above. All hail Carroll Salgado right now.
Look at that finish. Perfect. Working the sideline and it drops in. Little bit of tendency from Megan Kraft.
And I had that one going out as well for Meg, and then it just stops drifting outside and just holds its line, and it tags the line. That is just a wicked serve from Barbara Seychelles.
This time, Megan Kraft takes no chances. Cut shot, Barbara's there. So is Megan Kraft. Second time of asking on the slide approach. Right down the line for the kill, and a much-needed side-outs. Hard side-outs for United States right now.
Very difficult. Brazil's doing a nice job, and I know we keep using the word disruption, but disrupting the United States. They're serving tough. They're switching up their calls. They're moving late. They're doing all the right things at all the right times to make the United States very uncomfortable.
Megan Kraft into the net.
And Meg is one of the best servers in the field, which means by extension, she's one of the best servers in the world. Just hasn't been able to get it going yet in this final.
And there's Therese taking advantage of that perfect pass from Megan Kraft. This time, instead of going over angle, back to the line.
The soft touch from T. Sees the double angle move from Barbara and Carroll. Turns it back to the line.
Nice serve from Cannon. Look at Barbara hustle to keep this one alive. I love the aggressiveness, though, from Carroll there, trying to take a crack.
And I mentioned that Meg is one of the best servers in the field, by extension, one of the best servers in the world. But Therese Cannon also has a mean float serve. Isn't going to get credit for an ace. That's going to be statted as an error on Carroll, but that is, for all intents and purposes, an ace for Therese Cannon.
And there's Therese working the middle. Barbara going behind. Kraft is there. Excellent tomahawk dig. And Carroll gets a dig in transition, but it goes underneath the net. So Couple points now for United States after a good Tommy dig from Megan Kraft.
And for the first time of this entire gold medal match, the United States has a lead. First lead comes at 4-3 in the second set. And even though they're in the lead, even though they're getting points, it still feels like Brazil has control of this match.
Yes.
But the United States starting to do something that they struggled to do in the opening set, and that is earn points consecutively.
Good cross-court serve. Barbara looking for the option. Little ricochet off the hands of both United States player.
I think I can count on one hand the number of options in serve receive I've seen from Barbara this season. No reason for that to be on the scouting report.
No. But they're adapting to the challenge at hand. 4-all. Good pass for an option for Therese Cannon. And Therese going back to the well for more.
And the sweetest sound in all of beach volleyball is a quiet Brazil crowd. Therese hushing them real quick with that on too.
Salgado wants it out wide. And Carol Salgado loves that angle. It's so difficult working with her legs to kick out and still find an angle.
And Therese was well positioned for that exact swing. I don't know how Carol manages to get that one through the wickets. Enough heat on it, gets it to go through Therese's block.
Dropping serve. Cannon's gonna take a look down the line. Full layout from Barbara. Where does Barbara go here? The inside out cutting. We've seen it before. It's too good, too pure from Barbara.
If you're ever wondering how Barbara got herself a silver medal at the Rio Olympic Games, this display right here in this gold medal match is all you need to know. Just a slicer of a cutty.
Oof, filthy. Brazil retake the lead. And another great movement from Brazil to secure a dig. And Barbara, this time no cut shot needed, all gas.
And this is the most tentative I've seen Meg and T this week. And that's why even when they were up 4-3, I said it still feels like Brazil has control of this match, because it just doesn't, T and Meg don't have that same confident, aggressive energy they had in that semifinal. That has gone the way of Barbara and Carol.
7-5, Brazil. Tight rope served on the line. This set's a little out wide from Megan Kraft, and it's going to go into the antenna.
From the United States, I'm taking a timeout, and they do. As all these little ball control touches, they've done such a nice job all week long. They've been passing well, they've been setting well, they've been limiting their errors. And I don't know if it's a nervy thing. The easy thing to do is to blame nerves, and I can't say that that's the case because I don't know, but it's just, they do seem nervy. Their passing is a little bit shaky. Setting, as you can see right there by that set for Megan that goes outside the antenna, a little bit shaky, and just a little bit tentative on offense. Those 70% sharp angle swings we're seeing from Therese, we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's Megan Therese's fault because they've been playing so darn good this whole tournament long. So we have this expectation of how they can play. They know how they can play so well, and so we're used to seeing some quality touches. But again, credit to Brazil and the defensive strategy. The movement defensively of Barbara is getting Therese to hit these shots in these tough angles. And Barbara Sage just kind of walking into some of these balls here. So Meg and T need to find that aggression again and trust their confidence, trust their confident swing. 8-5, back out of the timeout. I like this pass, like this option, but guess who's there? Carol Salgado with the hand dig down the line. Kraft is there. Oh my goodness, what a touch.
Wow. Speechless. That is an incredible play from Barbara Seychelles. the one-handed layout stab dig, and then the awareness from Carol to find the deep angle before Meg can get there. It's a veteran point. It's a scrappy point. It is an Elite 16 gold medal point.
9-5 on the switch. Brazil working right now. Down the line, another scoop from Barbara. This is a little bit off the net. Oh my, the crowd would have lost it if that ball would have cleared the net.
This is the best defensive match I've seen from Barbara this week. She is everywhere, and it's the timing, the synchronicity of their move. As soon as Carol goes angle, then Barbara shifts line, and vice versa. Neither of them are selling the other out with the move. It's perfect synchronicity. It's so hard to see if you're Therese and Meg.
Nice middle serve. Excellent save, though, from Barbara. And she works. Nice touch from Megan Kraft, but it's out of reach for Therese Cannon.
And even when the U.S. manages to get Brazil in trouble, Brazil just has another trick in the hat to pull out just the high line right over the pulling Therese and just too far for Meg to get.
The touch that Brazil is putting on this Mikasa ball is exquisite. That short serve, nice touch from Kraft, but pretty much an ace from Brazil.
And Barbara and Carol, credit to them, picking up right where they left off in the first set and just keeping the pressure so high on Therese and Meg.
Deep serve this time, changing it up. All the way up the net. Nice soft touch from Carol again. Megan Kraft. And from the right, she goes down the line, and that's got to feel good if you're Megan Kraft.
Excellent for Meg to get that on the second time of asking. And again, I sound like a broken record, but how hard is Brazil making the United States work for a simple side out? First ball side outs are at a premium.
It's just draining as an offensive team when you see all these touches from defenses. Good pace on that serve. Barbara, she takes her look, looking for the jumbo. And that's the first error we've seen, I think, from Brazil in this set.
And Barbara sends that jumbo just long. And that's the margin, 2 inches from perfect. And for the most part, Brazil has found those 2 inches. That's a big break for the United States. They need more of those.
Tough serve. There's an ace dialed up from Megan Kraft.
And there's that fast, flat float serve that makes Meg so dangerous from the end line.
(9-11), USA has cut the lead to just 2. Tight ball, and it's a block from Therese Cannon, and that's going to bring us right into our technical timeout. So a huge run of points and 10 high fives to boot for Megan T.
4 straight points for the United States. That's exactly what they needed to bring themselves back into it. Down 11-6 after dropping the first set when Brazil's playing perfect. Backs against the ropes, the Americans responding, bouncing back, and we have ourselves a ball game once again.
The service pressure from Megan Kraft has brought United States back into this game. And we talked about in between sets and being able to reset and calm down a little bit. Get that first set, that's always the hardest set when you come out to a gold medal match, or even when you come out to any match. That first set is always the hardest to find that groove, find that rhythm, the timing. It looks as if the United States has started to settle in just a little bit.
It starts with the service pressure. The service pressure is how the United States got those last handful of points. Meg needs to keep the pressure high. If she misses, it's not a problem. But you can't just pop one in there, and I don't expect her to.
Keeping the pressure on Barbara. Lower set. Megan Kraft walking into that over angle. Nice hands from Carol. Therese going to look for the poke. It's short. Barbara's there. What a rally here off that outside hand. Barbara Seychelles working magic.
Those are the ones you need for the United States. That free ball overpass that Meg had not quite an overpass, but just not a perfect free ball pass for Therese to take with an option with her right hand. Those are the little things you need to do right in a gold medal match.
Megan Kraft going behind. Kraft back to the angle, and that's a good look. The behind working right now for the United States.
And Carol turns around and points to Barbara and says, I was blocking line, but even if Barbara was in the right position, that's a kill, no question.
I like the change up here. They go to Carol. The set's a little bit tight. The poke over goes down into the corner. Excellent work on a tight set from Carol.
Well done. Just to elevate and send that poke fast and flat and deep out of the reach of Meg.
Just touching it before Therese can. 13-11. Oh, that one just floating away from Cannon, but she gets her hands on it. Another big dig. Oh, that ball lands right on top of the tape and throws Carol off guard.
What an excellent scramble that was from Therese just to get a hand on that pass. And then Meg, a perfect trouble set so Therese can at least get some pace on this so Barbara can't fully control it. Carol almost manages to get that back over the net.
Good body control there from Carol. Barbara kicks out and works that line. A lot of room down the line for Barbara Seixas.
And Therese and Meg did a double angle on the previous side out for Barbara, and it worked. Go back to it again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't.
Double angle is the call here for Brazil. Trouble for the United States, and Therese trying to get a little too cute with it and goes into the net.
That is a big error for the United States to take. Brazil pushing the lead to 3, and again, it starts with the service pressure. The United States has been a little bit steadier in their serve and pass in this second set. They need to keep it that way if they want a chance at extending this to 3.
Starts with the pass. Pushed pass here. Good save from Kraft. Oh, and a break. This time hits the net but goes over for Cannon.
That's 2 trouble sets on that side that Megan Kraft has just dined for Therese Cannon, as it continues to feel as if the U.S. is just surviving. They're just sort of clinging on to the lifeboat right now.
And it was definitely the opposite in the semifinals for USA, where they were making the moves. They were pulling the strings of the puppet, not here in the gold medal match. Just holding on, 13-15. Barbara from behind, trying to go super short. Cuddy, Therese is there. It's in the net regardless.
Now it's the United States doing a little bit of disruption. Therese doing a late angle block. Meg moving into that line very late, creating an unnecessarily extreme cut from Barbara, and that results in an error. And now it's going to be Brazil taking a timeout. Their 3-point lead trimmed to 1.
Good timeout here from Brazil. The good serving for the United States, getting them back into this game. Again, coming back to this good side. Still a bit of wind here in the evening in Rio. Megan Kraft and Therese Cannon love that float serve. Getting that Mikasa to dance across the net. But credit Brazil. They have not made things easy for United States this whole match long. United States just kind of treading water, kind of stay afloat here, looking for their opportunity to pounce.
And Brazil's given them a little bit, especially on this current side. So throughout the week, this has been the good side, the side that the Americans are on. And in this match, it has proven especially good, especially for the Americans. Can they keep Barbara in enough trouble to claw back in the second set?
Perfect pass from Barbara. She goes behind again. And right through the hands. Frustration on Cannon, but it's a perfect spot.
That's a brutal break for the United States, as that's the exact swing that Therese wanted, and it just goes right through the wickets and off the head. A risky swing for Barbara pays off.
They go to Cannon. Cannon goes angle. Barbara Seixas calmly with the scoop and the deliver. Barbara Seixas all in her bag here in the gold medal match.
This is one of the best matches I've seen from Barbara in a long, long time, Kyle Friend. She is everywhere on defense. Not only is she making the dig, but it's perfect and then the perfect shot. And that look from Therese says it all about this gold medal match.
Therese going to the cut. Oh, and Seixas again gets a hand on it, but it slides underneath the net.
And still, Barbara, she is everywhere, touching everything.
Yeah, Barbara and Carol have come to play here in Rio. 15-17, United States down 2. Another good pass. Barbara going behind. Down the line. A lot of room. And this time she brings the hammer.
Barbara's just giving them no answers. The few points that Barbara has given the United States, it's not that the U.S. is calling the right play and getting a dig in transition. It's Barbara hitting the right shot, just hitting it too sharp and making errors.
Kraft works towards the middle. And then ripper off the hands. Nice fast arm hand to ball there for Kraft.
Excellent swing from Megan Kraft, staying high. Again, one of the lengthier defenders on the Beach Pro Tour. So when she stays high like that, it's going to work out in her favor more often than not. Now, this might be the biggest point of the match so far.
Tough serve. What can Barbara do here? She's somehow the risky seam swing from Barbara Seixas sneaking around Therese Cannon.
She just can do no wrong right now. Hitting all the right shots at all the right times with all the right paces. Just slivering that one under the block of Therese Cannon. She's been perfect. Ultimo.
Got my translator here, working on my Portuguese. 19-16 on the side switch. Brazil move over to the good side. Just 2 points away from a gold medal. High pass out of system. What a wonderful set from Megan Kraft, and the best play that I've seen for the United States so far in this match.
And that's where I got to wonder where's it been. Why did it take till 1916 to break out your bread and butter swing?
Carol got Therese early on an angle block that I might have gotten in the head of Therese. 17-19. Big point for USA. Love that serve, but look at that pass from Barbara. Oh my goodness. She's on fire. Barbara Seixas, too hot to handle right now.
It's an excellent serve. It's just a better pass. Therese makes the right move to pull. Barbara just puts a little bit too much stank on it for her to make this play. It's just a phenomenal swing from a phenomenal night for Barbara.
Gold medal point, 2017 for Brazil. It's an overpass. Chance here for Carol. And she's blocked. Megan Kraft, the former blocker, going back to her form here with a big block, the most important point of the match.
When a defender gets a block, call that one a crowd, please, Kyle Friend. But is it enough? Yes, Meg extends the match. Can they do it 2 more times, or will Brazil win yet another gold medal at home?
Barbara Seixas for the gold. They do it. Down the line, Barbara Seixas, Carol Salgado. Almost perfection here from Brazil in Rio.
And wouldn't you know it, Brazil wins gold in Brazil, as they did in Brasilia, as they did in João Pessoa, as they do